Because the Education Department has kindly decided to close off the Hill Street path through the Sydney Secondary College in Leichhardt, we now need to take a detour around. Now, the other day I went right, and yeah, well, it wasn't the best, but it was suggested that what we should do these days is turn left. Now, this path in yellow is where we used to go when you could take a shortcut through the campus of the Sydney Secondary College, and essentially you'd go down Hill Street to the very bottom, turn left, then you'd get up onto Booth Street, and that would take you through to Bridge Road and the fish markets and all that kind of stuff. Now, with the closure of that path through the college, now you've got to turn left, go up the top, and then you take this little kind of back street, and that takes you up onto Hill Street, or whatever it is, no, Moore Street, and then off you go, down to Booth Street, and you can continue on. What's it like actually taking this? Well, the first time I did this from this direction, I actually couldn't really find where to go because council had thoughtfully hidden the directional signage behind a pole. Now, what do I think about riding through here? Well, this is approaching Hill Street from, the Hawthorn Canal. And yes, there's a bike lane here, and yes, there's green paint, but a lot of the time I don't want to actually stay in that bike lane because of the risk of dooring. It's just, it's not the best. You've either got to ride right on the outside of the door lane or the bike lane, or in fact outside it completely. Now we get to the end of the street here, and yes, there's some symbology on the road, but no real signage telling you where to go. And this is where I really like the idea from Perth of using red asphalt to mark out bike routes. If the Inner West Council ever gets around to resheeting this street, I'd really suggest that they put a strip of red asphalt down the middle of it to show this is where you go if you're riding a bicycle. You don't have to worry about signs. You don't have to worry about signs being hidden behind power poles by contractors and things like that, like there. You just follow the red brick road or the red asphalt road. Now, I'd been through here from the other direction quite a few times, so once I got here, I was like, oh, okay, now I know where I am. And from here, it's fairly straightforward. So yes, this is a good path through here. In fact, it's actually better than the Hill Street path because it's a heck of a lot wider and safer. But what's Moore Street like as a street to ride down? Well, firstly, at least you got bike signals here, and the push button there is in a nice position, and you don't have to wait too long. But notice where the bike symbology is. It's over there in the parking lane, and look where I'm riding. I'm actually riding outside the solid white line because I was just really not happy with the idea of riding in that bike lane and being doored. It was not at this speed because it's downhill. So, you can roll down here at a reasonable pace. And yes, they've got green paint across the intersections and all the rest of it, and it's good, but no, still too much of a risk of being doored from parked cars. If there were no parked cars in that lane, I'd happily ride in that bike lane. But, it only takes one idiot, opening their door, and it's a very bad day for you. It could even be your last day. Anyway, as we come down here, what happens next? We get a green light. That's nice. And from here on, the bike lane is actually a little bit better, I thought. And I think I don't know whether it's just out a little bit wider, I don't know. But you can see here, I'm actually, for once, in the bike lane. I'm right on the edge of it, pretty much riding on the white line. But again, worried about, rolling down this hill and getting doored. Now, normally, if you came down the other way, that's where you'd pop out there from the right. So, look, I think it's faster than coming down Hill Street, that's for sure. But you've got all that risk of being in that door zone essentially all the way down that hill. So it's kind of 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. If it wasn't for that door zone, I think Moore Street would be the better option. Anyway, with the closure of that path through Hill Street, this is where you can go.